My wife said, "You're too needy. I need space to find myself." I said, "Take all the time you need." 6 months later, when she came back, I'd already found someone who actually wanted me there. What would you do if the person you loved told you that loving them was the problem? That your presence, your care, your attention, was suffocating them? Hey Reddit, I'm 34M, and I honestly don't know if I'm in the right here. But I need outside perspective because my soon-to-be ex-wife is blowing up my phone. And her family is calling me every name in the book. Some background: I met my wife, let's call her Sarah, when we were both 26. We dated for 3 years. Got married at 29. For the first few years of marriage, everything felt good. Not perfect, but good. We had our routines. I worked as an architect. She worked in marketing. We'd have dinner together most nights, watch TV, talk about our days. Normal couple stuff. But about 2 years into our marriage, things started changing. Sarah started working late more often. She joined a gym and started going every day after work. She made new friends, which I encouraged. By the way, I've never been the jealous or controlling type. I was genuinely happy she was branching out. But then she started pulling away from me. If I asked about her day, she'd give one-word answers. If I suggested we do something together on the weekend, she'd say she already had plans with her gym friends. If I tried to initiate any kind of physical intimacy, she'd say she was tired or not in the mood. I tried talking to her about it multiple times. She'd always say the same thing: "I'm fine. You're overthinking it. Not everything is about you." Then, about 8 months ago, we had the conversation that changed everything. I'd planned a weekend getaway for our anniversary. Nothing crazy, just a cabin in the mountains, 2 nights away from the city. I thought maybe we needed time to reconnect. When I told her about it, she didn't seem excited. She seemed annoyed. "I can't just drop everything because you planned something without asking me first," she said. "It's our anniversary." I replied, "I thought it would be a nice surprise." "That's exactly the problem," she snapped. "You're always planning things, always asking about my schedule, always wanting to spend time together. It's suffocating." I was stunned. "I'm your husband. Wanting to spend time with you is suffocating?" Then she said it. "You're too needy. I can't breathe in this marriage. I need space to find myself again. I feel like I lost who I'm trying to be your wife." I sat there for a long time, just processing. Finally, I asked, "What do you want me to do?" "I don't know," she said. "I just need you to give me space. Stop planning things. Stop asking me about my day. Stop waiting up for me. I need to figure out who I'm outside of being your wife." So I did exactly what she asked. I canceled the cabin. Got a full refund. Actually, I stopped asking about her day. I stopped suggesting date nights or activities. I stopped waiting up for her when she came home late. I even started sleeping in the guest room because she said sharing a bed felt claustrophobic. And you know what? At first, it hurt. It hurt like hell. I felt rejected and confused. But after a few weeks, something shifted. I started focusing on myself. I reconnected with friends I'd neglected. I started going to the gym myself, different one than Sarah's. Obviously, I took a weekend workshop on woodworking. Something I'd always wanted to try. I started cooking actual meals for myself instead of waiting to see if Sarah wanted to eat together. I started living my life instead of orbiting around hers. About 3 months into this space, I barely saw Sarah. She'd come home late, go straight to the guest room on the other side of the house, and leave early in the morning. We were roommates at best. One of my friends, noticing how down I'd been, convinced me to join him at a social event, a networking mixer for young professionals. I almost didn't go. But I figured, why not? Sarah certainly didn't care what I did with my time. That's where I met Emma. Emma was 31. Worked in urban planning. Loved hiking and old movies. And when I talked, she actually listened. She asked follow-up questions. She laughed at my jokes. She seemed genuinely interested in getting to know me. We exchanged numbers. Started texting. Met for coffee. Then dinner. Then a hike. I told her up front about my situation, that I was technically still married but that my wife had asked for space and we were basically separated. Emma appreciated the honesty and said she'd be open to seeing where things went. But slowly, for the first time in months, I felt like myself again. Like I mattered to someone. Around the 4-month mark of Sarah's space, I consulted a divorce attorney. Not because of Emma, I'd have done this regardless, but because I realized I didn't want to be in a marriage where loving someone was considered a burden. The attorney said because we had no kids and kept our finances mostly separate, it would be a straightforward process. I filed the papers but didn't serve them yet. I wanted to have one final conversation with Sarah first. But before I could initiate that conversation, something changed. Sarah suddenly started coming home earlier. She started asking me about my day. She suggested we have dinner together. She even asked if I wanted to watch a movie with her. I was polite but distant. "I have plans," I'd say. Which was true. I was either seeing Emma or hanging out with friends or working on a woodworking project in the garage. Then, about 5.5 months into her finding herself journey, Sarah knocked on the guest room door one night. I'd actually moved most of my stuff in there at this point. It was basically my room now. "Can we talk?" she asked. "Sure," I said. She sat on the edge of the bed, and I could tell she'd been crying. "I think I made a mistake," she said, asking for space. "I realize now that I was going through something. And I took it out on you. I want to work on us. I want to fix this." I took a deep breath. "Sarah, why now? What changed?" I've been doing a lot of thinking. And therapy. Actually, I started seeing a therapist. And she helped me realize that I was pushing away the one person who actually cared about me. "That's good," I said. "I'm glad you're in therapy. But I need to be honest with you." Her face fell. "You're seeing someone." "I am," I admitted. "We've been dating for about 2 months. It's still new. But, Sarah, even if Emma wasn't in the picture, I don't think I could go back to how things were." She started crying harder. "So that's it? You're just giving up on us?" "I'm not giving up," I said quietly. "You asked me to stop being needy. You asked me to give you space. You asked me to stop making our relationship my priority. So I did. And in doing that, I realized that I deserve to be with someone who doesn't see my love as a burden." "I never said your love was a burden. You said I was too needy for wanting to spend time with my own wife. For planning our anniversary. For asking about your day. If that's needy, then yes, I'm needy. But I'd rather be too much for you than not enough for myself." She left the room angry. And for a few days, there was tense silence in the house. Then I served her the divorce papers. That's when everything exploded. Suddenly, Sarah was devastated. She begged me to reconsider. She said she'd made a mistake. That she'd been confused. That she loved me and wanted to fight for us. But here's the thing, you can't ask someone to stop fighting for the relationship. Then get mad when they actually stop. Her family started calling me. Her mom called me selfish and cruel. Her sister said I was giving up at the first sign of trouble, which is hilarious because I endured 5 months of being treated like I was invisible. Her friends started posting vague things on social media about how some people don't know how to fight for love. But my friends, and even some mutual friends, have been supportive. They saw how I was during those months. They saw me trying to save something that Sarah had already abandoned. Now Sarah's saying I replaced her with Emma and that I didn't even try to work on the marriage. But how was I supposed to work on a marriage when she literally told me to leave her alone? I've been called heartless, a cheater, even though she was the one who wanted space and we were clearly separated. And vindictive. But Reddit, I don't feel vindictive. I feel free. For the first time in almost a year, I feel like I can breathe. Emma knows the full situation. She's been nothing but understanding and patient. We're taking things slow because I'm still legally married and going through a divorce. But she makes me feel wanted. She makes me feel like spending time with me is a gift, not a chore. Am I the asshole for moving on? For not waiting around indefinitely for Sarah to finish finding herself? For actually taking her at her word when she said she needed space? I honestly don't know anymore. Okay, let's pause here because this situation is complex but also crystal clear at the same time. Sarah told her husband he was too needy. She pushed him away for months, made him feel like his presence was a problem. And then, when he actually gave her what she asked for and started building a life without her, suddenly she wanted him back? That's not love. That's control. The comments section had thoughts. Strong thoughts. Let me share some of the top ones. Comment 1 with 28. 4K upvotes. NTA. She didn't want space to find herself. She wanted to keep you as a backup plan while she explored other options. When whatever she was chasing didn't work out, she expected you to still be sitting there waiting. You're not a bookmark she can leave in a book and come back to whenever she feels like it. Comment 2 with 24. 1K upvotes. The audacity of her calling you heartless when she told you that wanting to spend time with your spouse was suffocating. She made you feel like loving her was wrong. That's emotional abuse. You're not heartless, you're healed. Comment 3 with 19. 7K upvotes. Info, was she cheating? Because this screams I wanted freedom to see someone else. It didn't work out. So now I want my safety net back. The timeline of her suddenly wanting to reconnect right around the time you'd expect an affair to fizzle out is suspicious. Comment 4 with 22. 8K upvotes. Bro. She literally told you to stop being her husband. You didn't give up on the marriage, she did. She just expected you to wait around until she decided she wanted to be married again. That's not how it works. Comment 5 with 31. 2K upvotes. The fact that she's calling you a cheater when you're the one who filed for divorce and she's the one who demanded space. The projection is real. I'd bet money she was either cheating or trying to. And it didn't work out how she planned. That third comment hit Op hard. Because it made him realize something he'd been avoiding. 3 days after his original post, he updated. And what he found out, it explained everything. Update number 1, posted 3 days later. Okay Reddit. I'm back sooner than I expected because, wow. The comments about Sarah possibly cheating really got to me. Not because I wanted to believe it, but because so many things suddenly made sense if that were true. The sudden need for space. The gym obsession. The late nights. The complete personality change. The way she came crawling back right around the time frame you'd expect an affair to burn out. So I did something I'm not proud of. But I had to know. I called her best friend, Monica. Monica and I always got along well. And I knew that if anyone knew what was really going on with Sarah, it would be her. I was straightforward. Monica, I'm not asking you to betray Sarah. But I need to know the truth. Was there someone else? There was a long silence. Then, I told her this would blow up in her face. My stomach dropped. Monica told me everything. And guys, it's worse than I thought but also validates everything I've been feeling. Sarah did meet someone. At the gym. Some trainer named Derek. About 3 months before she started asking for space. According to Monica, Sarah was confused about her feelings. She loved me. But she felt this intense attraction to Derek. She didn't want to cheat. So she asked for space to figure out her feelings. Let me translate, she wanted permission to pursue Derek without technically cheating, while keeping me as a backup plan. Monica said Sarah and Derek dated for about 4 months. She didn't tell me because Sarah swore they were on a break and that it wasn't cheating because she'd asked for space. But here's where it gets interesting. Derek was dating multiple women. Sarah thought she was special. Thought maybe he'd commit to her. But after a few months, he made it clear he wasn't looking for anything serious. Sarah was devastated. That's when she started coming home earlier and wanting to reconnect with me. I wasn't her first choice. I was her safety net. When Monica told me this, I felt relieved. Is that weird? Because it confirmed that I wasn't crazy. I wasn't too needy. I wasn't suffocating. I was just married to someone who wanted to have her cake and eat it too. I thanked Monica for her honesty and hung up. Then I called my lawyer and told him to expedite everything. No more waiting. No more chances for Sarah to manipulate the narrative. I also called Sarah. We need to talk, I said. And I need you to be honest with me for once. She agreed to meet at a coffee shop. Neutral ground. When we sat down, I didn't waste time. Who's Derek? Her face went white. How did you? Doesn't matter. What matters is that you lied to me. You didn't need space to find yourself. You needed space to see if someone else was a better option. And when he wasn't, you decided I'd do. She started crying. It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? Sarah? Explain it to me. She couldn't. She stumbled through some explanation about being confused and making a mistake and how Derek didn't mean anything. But I meant something, right? I asked. I meant enough to keep on the hook. To keep as a backup plan. That's not fair. She whispered. What's not fair is making me feel like I was the problem. Like wanting to spend time with my wife made me needy and suffocating. When really, you just wanted me out of the way so you could pursue someone else guilt-free. She tried to reach for my hand. I pulled away. I filed for divorce. I said. And now I know why I made the right call. You didn't lose me because I couldn't forgive a mistake. You lost me because you made me believe I was too much when really, you were just too selfish. I left her sitting there. Since then, the divorce has been moving forward. Sarah tried to contest it. Tried to drag it out. But my lawyer shut that down quickly. Turns out, in our state, infidelity matters. Even if she wants to argue we were on a break. Her family has finally backed off after I told them the truth about Derek. Some of them apologized. Her dad actually called me to say he was sorry for how things went down and that he always liked me. Emma and I are still together. We're taking things slow. But it feels right. She knows the whole story now, including the Derek revelation. Her response? You deserve someone who chooses you first. Not someone who settles for you after other options fall through. Damn right. I'm not going to lie, there are still hard days. Divorce is messy even when you know it's right. But I don't regret my decision. Not for a second. Sarah made me feel like my love was a burden. Emma makes me feel like it's a gift. That's the difference between someone who wants you and someone who just doesn't want to be alone. Reddit. Thanks for the wake-up call. Your comments about possible cheating gave me the push I needed to find out the truth. And the truth, as painful as it was, set me free. And there it is. She didn't want space. She wanted permission. Permission to see if the grass was greener, while keeping him watered and waiting just in case it wasn't. But here's what Sarah didn't count on. When you tell someone they're too much, eventually they'll believe you. And they'll find someone who thinks they're just enough. The comments on this update were even more supportive. Comment 1 with 35.8k upvotes. She called you needy for wanting basic relationship things while she was literally so needy for validation she couldn't even end the relationship before pursuing someone else. The projection is Olympic level. Comment 2 with 29.4k upvotes. Derek the trainer was seeing multiple women and she thought she was special. She left a man who actually loved her for a guy who saw her as one of many options. Karma is real. Comment 3 with 41. 2K upvotes. The best revenge is living well. You didn't even have to do anything vindictive, you just moved on and built a better life. And that's what's killing her. Not that you're with someone else, but that you're happy with someone else. Op promised one final update after the divorce was finalized. That came 2 months later. And it's the perfect ending. Final update, the divorce is final. And I've never been better. Hey Reddit. Final update. I promise. The divorce was finalized 3 weeks ago. It took about 4 months total. Which my lawyer said was relatively quick given the circumstances. Sarah tried one last time to convince me to reconsider. Showed up at my new apartment. Yeah, I moved out, with letters she'd written. Talking about all our good memories and how we could get past this. I read one of the letters. It was full of apologies and promises to change and memories of our early relationship. And you know what I felt? Nothing. Not anger. Not sadness. Just nothing. I told her I appreciated her acknowledging her mistakes. But that it didn't change anything. Some things, once broken, can't be fixed. And more importantly, shouldn't be. She finally accepted it. Or at least, stopped trying to change my mind. The divorce settlement was fair. We split everything down the middle. No alimony since we both have good jobs and we're only married for 4 years. Clean break. As for Emma and me, we're doing great. Really great. We moved in together last month. I know some of you will say that's too fast. But it feels right. She's met my family. I've met hers. Everyone's supportive. But more than that, I'm happy. Genuinely happy. I've learned that being needy isn't wanting connection and partnership. Being needy is requiring someone to dim their light so you can feel brighter by comparison. I've learned that space in a relationship should bring you back together stronger. Not give you room to explore other options. And I've learned that sometimes the trash takes itself out. You just have to let it go. To anyone going through something similar, someone making you feel like you're too much or not enough, you're not the problem. You're just with the wrong person. The right person won't make you feel needy for wanting what's normal in a relationship. The right person won't need space from you, they'll want to make space for you. Sarah wanted me to be less. Emma loves me for being more. That's all the difference in the world. Thanks, Reddit, for the advice, the support, and the wake-up call. This community helped me see clearly when I was lost in the fog. I'm signing off now. But I'm signing off happy. And free. And with someone who actually wants me there. And there you have it. A man who was told he was too needy for wanting basic love and respect. Who gave his wife exactly what she asked for. And who, in doing so, found himself again. Sarah learned a brutal lesson. You can't put someone on pause and expect them to be there when you press play again. Life doesn't work that way. People don't work that way. She wanted space. He gave it to her. Permanently. And the most beautiful part? He didn't do it out of spite. He did it out of self-respect. He realized his worth and refused to settle for someone who saw his love as a burden. What do you think? Was he right to move on? Should he have given her another chance after finding out about Derek? Let me know in the comments. And remember, if someone makes you feel like loving them is the problem, maybe the problem isn't how much you love, it's who you're giving it to. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And to anyone watching who's being made to feel like they're too much, you're not too much. You're just with too little. You deserve someone who sees your love as a gift, not a burden. Don't settle for less.